Hey guys, so this is the tutorial on how to make a harp slash lyre. Hopefully I pronounced that right. So I'm just part one is showing you where I found the image, how I printed it off, different sizes that you would like to have for your harp. You're welcome to choose whatever size. You're also welcome to freehand draw as well if you would like. So this is just the printing screen that I have open right now. There's the printer. And voila! Do-do-do-do! Just kidding. So this one here is a bigger copy for the harp that I plan on making in the next video. So it's like it's going to be like a 3D harp. So you can check that out later on. Here, this is part two. Everything that you need to get started, which is cardboard, hot glue gun, glue sticks, utility knife. So first you're going to cut out your images with scissors. And then for the bigger one, you're going to tape them together, just like so. Okay, so now you're going to grab your harp stencil and you're going to trace around your harp with whatever color marker or pencil, whatever that you have. I chose a pink Sharpie, pink for Zelda, being that we're doing a harp for her. And there, I'm just closing it off. I found it to be a lot more easier just to have that closed off there, and instead of having cardboard straight across. The X's that I just marked there is where the wire will be sitting. So you want to make two copies of the this harp here. And this is what the stencil looks like. So just kind of comparing all of it together. So now you want to cut around them, kind of like that rectangular and that piece, and then you want to cut that in half. And then you want to cut pretty much right on the line that you made. So be very careful. Utility knives are very sharp. If you cut yourselves, not my fault. So please, please do not blame me. I did give you a warning. They are very sharp. So take caution. Be very slow when you're cutting. Do your best. And also when you're going slower too, you could do little tiny cuts, just like I'm showing you here, because the size of the harp that I chose for my daughter's doll, I had a beast of a time trying to cut inside the harp curl, I guess. So you could see how much difficulty I'm having there. But yeah, so if you want to freehand your harp, you probably won't have that problem. You can also kind of freehand and also use a template too, and make that curve a little bit bigger so it's easier for you to cut. There, I'm just kind of, wiggling the cardboard out. So just do the best you can. Try and make it as clean as possible. And then just keep cutting on the pink line, or whatever that you're using. So yeah, keep going around until you get done. So that there, I broke it a little bit there, so I'll have to glue it later. So yeah, so you want to cut two pieces. Voila, la 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 la. There's two pieces, and they should look like your stencil, or at least close. Make sure you always close your knife when you're not using it. Where those X's are is where your wire or whatever you're having there sit. So you want to cut little indents for whatever you're using. So whether it's wood or wire or whatever you're using. So that's what it should look like. So just take your time. Again, be very careful. Don't cut yourself. Here, this is how I was able to make sure I got it pretty even, the two sides, because you don't want your wire or whatever you're using to be completely crooked. You want it to look nice. You want a good finished product. So make sure that you take your time measuring, eyeball it. Yeah, take your time. So we're going to take 3 slits. There's 2 on the sides, kind of like a rectangle, and then you're going to make a little divot like that. So again, we're going to do the other side. Sorry, it's kind of blurry here. So you're going to do the other side there, see? So do the best you can, cleaning them out. Yeah, so that's where your wire is going to sit. So just do the best as you can. Cut down a layer or 2, however far down you want to go. You don't want to go too far. So if you're using thicker cardboard, it's best to go halfway. If you're using thinner cardboard, I would honestly just take the first layer off and then just squeeze the corrugated cardboard, so the Ripley stuff. All right, so now you're going to cut the other one. So you're going to have 4 slits. So again, that's where your wire is going to sit. And then when you put it together, then it won't bulge funny. So the holes should look like this here. So I show you both sides. And I'm pointing right at it just in case you can't see. Right there. So voila! Gluing time pretty soon. There we go. So you want your harp, cutting pliers, hot glue gun, wire, and hot glue sticks for this. Okay, so plug in your hot glue gun. Make sure that you have it ready to go. Organize your stuff. Okay, so right now what you're going to be doing is measuring out your wire to make sure that it fits. So just start by one side and then use your thumb or whatever to kind of have a guide where you're going to cut your wire. You'll see in a minute if you need to have a little bit more clear understanding. There we go. So be very gentle. There, see? And it should fit in just like that. So you want to cut a few so your wire doesn't bend all weird and funky. So when you're using it for cosplay or your kids are playing it and possibly pulling, you don't want the wire to bend downwards and then you have to constantly bend it up just to make everything tight again. So because I chose such a small size of harp and this many wire pieces, it doesn't move at all, so it worked out perfectly. So here I'm just twisting them on each other here. So you want to grab another set of pliers. It's going to be a lot easier for twisting it, the ends, getting the ends tighter. So make sure you have it tight on both ends, just in case, you don't want any pokies or anything. So you don't want to yank on the wire or whatever that you're using and have these pokies stick out of the cardboard, right? So just make sure that your wire is long enough or not too short. Make sure it fits just right. So there you can see that it's sticking out a little bit. So I'm going to take it out here in a sec and I'm going to squeeze it together again. So if you have that, just, make sure that you have it as perfect as possible. I mean, yeah, so you can see it's still sticking out, kind of looks like crow's feet. So yeah, just bend them together. Do the best you can. Okay, so now gluing time. So you're going to start by gluing inside the little slits that we cut out earlier. Make sure when you're using the hot glue gun to be very quick, because once it cools down, that's going to be a mess that you don't really want to deal with. So just place it in the middle, both sides, take your time. And then you want to glue again on top of that. Try and have it as flat as possible, so when you stick your 2 cardboard sides together, then it won't look funny. So right there, because I broke it, you just stick a little bit of glue. It won't hurt anything. So if you're still having troubles, like I did, just keep gluing until you got it together. do a little test. Awesome, look at that. It's nice and strong, ready to go. Okay, so you want to glue both your sides together, so be sure to be very quick because you don't want to have a problem where your sides aren't sticking together. So I did a demo here. It's coming up. What happens when your sides don't stick together? So when you check, so kind of just pull it apart here. You see that it didn't stick very well, so just pull it apart. If you're freaking out, just don't break it, just calm down. Everything will be all right because you can pick the glue off. Here, I'll show you. Piece of cake. See? So, yeah, there you go. So, yeah, you want to take it off of both sides because you don't want any more of the old glue. And, whoo, that's better. All right, so now we're going to try again. So, we're going to be very quick with our glue here. Make sure you get it nice and thick if you can. No dilly-dally with this kind of job. There. And then, yeah, just put your sides together, get it as close as possible. And then you want to push everything together while the glue is cooling down. If it pops out like that, that's fine. Just wait until it cools and then you can kind of shave it down with the hot glue gun just to make it even. And check all your sides. Make sure they're sticking together properly. If they're not, again, try again. You can also add glue in between the cracks while it's still together. So once you see that, that's good to go. And you see how strong that wire is that I mentioned earlier? It's because I used multiple pieces of wire, so. You have 2 ways to finish the edge. Hot glue the sides flat. So here I'll show you what I did originally for the harp that you saw in the pizza video that I did. I'll also post a link of the pizza video if you haven't seen that already. It was a delicious tofurky pizza. It was wicked awesome. The family loved it. It was actually even pretty decent pricing too, so you can hear my review and yeah. So you just want to make sure all your edges and stuff are nice and clean. So use the hot glue gun to make it all nice. Now you want to go all the way around everything that's exposing because you don't want the cardboard look. It's kind of silly. So this is what it should look like. I just kind of did a quick job. So nothing too fancy because it's just for my kid for playtime. So I mean, yeah, she loves it. There's what the thread looks like. I highly recommend not to use thread. It's very brittle, but that's all I had use at the time. So I'm probably going to replace these with yarn. So as you can see here where I'm pointing out where the curve is, because I didn't use a pattern for the yellow one. So I got more of a curve in it. And then the template for this video, I didn't get much of a curve. So it was kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, so this, or you could do paper mache. So you can pause the video for the recipe if you need the recipe for that, or you can look up online a recipe for paper mache. So you want to get thin strips. I chose this thin of strips because of how tiny my harp is. Actually, this is the perfect size. My husband ended up getting these from his work. They're shredded paper, just like paperwork that they used in the shredder, and it worked out perfectly, and I didn't have to rip anything. It was all ready to go. It was perfect. So if you have any shredded paper, it would work out perfect for this project. You don't have to use newspaper. So just be very delicate because the paper is very brittle at this point, being that it's wet and all. So just take your time, wrap it evenly. Make sure you can, you know, get it going around, and you don't want it all lumpy and stuff. So yeah, just like essentially mummify your cardboard, just so you can get rid of that silly edge. It'll make a really nice finished project. So yay! So this is all finished. So because I used the template and I made it so small, I had to use a pencil just to define the little corners in there. So you might get lucky to use a pencil just like I did if you use a template that small. Use sandpaper. All I had was emery cloth, which it worked out fine. So I just sanded the whole thing. Just make sure that most of it is fairly even. It's okay if you have some bumps and stuff like that. It's not a huge deal. Unless you want it perfect, then I highly suggest maybe like the perfect grit for sandpaper. So yeah, just keep going, and here I'll show you. Yeah, and that's the finished product of sanding. So here's an up close one. So it's nice and fine. You want to do it all the way around. There. Paint the lyre the color of your choice. So my daughter wanted yellow. So this is the finished product. It's all dry. I think it's beautiful. It turned out gorgeous. I think gold probably would have been better, but it's for my daughter's doll, so... Okay, so you see these 4 little lines here. I decided to do 4 like little strings, the harp strings. So you can barely see those little circles there, but there's 4 of them, I promise. And that's where you're going to be drilling your holes. So yeah. So just make sure you mark out your areas, measure it out if you want. Eyeball everything. Measure 3 times, cut once. Okay, so the size that I used was a 7/64. You can kind of see where I'm pointing at it. So you don't want your drill bit too big for this project, but you don't want it too small, because you want to be able to fit your needle in there. So just try and keep it as steady as possible. Make sure you don't drill a hole in your fingers. Please, please, please be careful, okay? These are tools that could easily hurt you. So take your time. Okay, so you want to do 4 holes like I did if you're doing the one that I did. So it's a little bit crooked, as you can see. I kind of messed up. Oh, well. But it still turned out really good, so, and my daughter loves it. Oh, well. Okay, so you can choose whatever you want. This is hemp right here that I have. Thread, I don't recommend. This is the plastic stretchy cord. You use it for bracelets and stuff like that. And then yarn, or you can use yarn. Be sure to have scissors handy so you can cut your stuff. You could choose whatever size needles. I chose the longer one that was blunt at the end. It worked out a whole lot better for threading through the elastic, stretchy plastic elastic. It's kind of like a tongue twister. Okay, so, and I used beads. So, I'm not sure what size they are. Maybe like an 8mm. Oh, I don't know. Don't take my word on it. Just, yeah, make sure it's beads that aren't too small, and make sure they're not like too big. So you don't want your beads to like pop through your, the holes that you drilled earlier. So just keep tying, the bead on the plastic elastic or yarn or whatever you seem to be using. And then you want to measure. I highly recommend adding an inch more, like what you see there. I had a heck of a time tying it, so Okay, so you're going to thread it through your needle. And then you're going to feed your needle and your elastic or yarn or whatever you end up using for your project through the hole. And I just put the little tail in just in case, you know, my daughter ends up breaking the elastic somehow and I need the tail for later. If you do what I did, just make sure that you cut the little tail a little bit, whatever's sticking out. Okay, so you want to make 4 of those. So I did 4 of them. I fed them through. See, you can kind of see the elastic. It's so tiny. It's really hard to see. I'm sorry. Kind of tried to bring it closer, but my silly camera doesn't like to focus. So, okay, so you're going to start one at a time. You're going to wrap it around, and then you're going to tie it on the piece of wire or like a wood or whatever that you used for the top part of your harp. So I chose to tie it like a gazillion times, both on the bead and the wire itself, just in case that it came apart, because this elastic can be such a pain in the arse sometimes. So just be careful of that. Also, too, if you're using the same stuff I'm using, like I'm sure you see the lighter in the picture there. Do not use lighter on this stuff. It just makes it gross and brown. I was going to give it a try after, and it just did not turn out. So I would just cut it with scissors. Maybe like if you don't want the cord to like fall apart, maybe just crazy glue it or something. I don't know. Just be careful because crazy glue can sometimes melt plastic. So yay, we got one done. And you can kind of hear it too. It's kind of like doing, doing, like elastic. So there you go. I got them all 4 tied and threaded through. And like the inside, if you want to clean that up, you can probably put some glue or paint or something like that. So just be careful because glue, if you use hot glue, it's very, you know, it could melt. It could melt your plastic. So that if you could see. So, ta-da! So this should be your finished project. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and if you make a lyre harp, please share pics or videos for the Adventures of CeCe community. We'd love to see them. Be sure to click like and subscribe for more DIYs and many other topics we talk about here. Remember to share hugs and love. Bye guys!